Yo, what is up, bros? Back with the Ultimate Artillery General Tournament. We are ready for number 2 Bradley versus number 3 Williams. First up, we've got a Bradley. Look, he's got this command and coordination. After commanding a land unit to attack, there's a 100% chance to grant coordination to nearby allies and yourself for 1 turn. Units with coordination gain 15% damage. Here's the problem with this. The 1 turn is not the next turn after. It's that turn you're in. So that really, unless he's on a unit that can fire again or has the excellence medal, that really does nothing for him. It's more for the other guy. So for like me, I always have for testing, I change this perk around. I usually have explosives on him and have him run with Eichelberger. So for me, this would always help out Eichelberger. This will have to be decided upon when we are rating the generals. Not going to do shit for him in the actual tournament. Bro does have artillery leader, accuracy, inferior victory, and inspiration. And then Williams, he has this self-propelled artillery. When commanding an artillery unit to attack, gain 100% chance of attacking again after annihilating enemy troops. Easy enough to calculate. If Bro can fire again, I'm going to let him. Because it's not like letting some general fire again because we fired from the Walking Stuke and he's able to again. This is the general's perk. So yeah, if he takes out a unit, I don't know if it works for city health or not. But if he can take out a unit, fine. He's going to fire again. If he takes that out, I'm going to keep adding up the damage he does. Easy enough. I don't think it's really going to help because he has 2 completely crap perks. Artillery armor. Defense plus 100% when commanding artillery units. Crap. Bro does have accuracy. Complete shit. Machinist does have explosives. If he had any other perk here, artillery leader, inferior victory, inspiration, he looks like he would be pretty good. You have some defense and some firepower. The way he's built now, probably crap. Alright, bros. First attack for Bradley. What, 6, 7? That's actually pretty decent hit. Yeah, going into the 7s on that's pretty good. Alright, Bradley, you're up on the combat medics. Remember, Zhukov as the only general so far to beat 500. Joined now by Bradley. I've been looking at a couple of these cities, like these 2 cities where the city health is only 300. That's where Williams is going to be able to stack a little bit of damage because he has to be able to take out 300 city. Get an extra attack. So what Bradley needs to do, although he's been getting really good hits, stack up the damage from the HIMARS with that artillery leader and accuracy. Another decent hit. Alright, Bradley, you gotta stack damage here on HIMARS hits. Decent. That's a decent amount of damage. Nobody has really done much on this hit. 308's probably as good as Zhukov. Actually, it's surprisingly it's better than Zhukov. Bradley, bringing it. Dildo launcher attack. Nobody's really got much damage out of that attack either. Alright, Bradley, this is where you really put some separation between you and Williams. All reds. Nice. Williams is probably going to get Williams is probably going to get another hit off on that. Alright, Bradley, this is... He's getting decent hits. Bradley's performing a little bit better than I had expected. Definitely is not going to rival Zhukov in any manner, but probably put some distance between him and whatever Williams does. Alright, bros, we got Williams' first attack You know, it just occurred to me, and it's something I haven't really thought of before. If the general has explosives, and also AoE, and the city or emplacements being hit by the AoE, does explosives still do that extra damage? I'll have to test that out. 280. Alright, bros. The poor combat medic, a good benchmark. Although, with a general that has explosives, not so much of a benchmark, but you can see he's doing half the damage. He's kind of right where I thought he would be so far. Except this is where he might come on strong. City health. Oh, he did get it. He's going to get another attack. Won't be much on just Phantom Force, though. Yeah, an extra 126. I mean, it is an extra hit. It could add up if he gets a couple more of those. Alright, so here's another possible opportunity as City has 300 health. Oh, hold on a sec. What if he does take that out? And then takes the unit out. And there's 3 other units that we normally do not target. Although we haven't ran into an artillery general with this perk before. Oh no. What do I do? What do I count towards damage? I don't know what to count. Alright, well... do I count that hit and this partial crap hit? If it... I don't know. I'll have to think about that. That's an interesting call. Usually, I wouldn't count the units outside of what everybody else was attacking. I don't know. I might need to count that. It's not like he went completely off and destroyed this completely, then destroyed this completely. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Williams from the Heimars. I mean, if he can take that health down... Oh, he's not going to be able to. That's 431. I'm going to say he could go off again. Yeah, 431 was too much. It's, yeah, 50 more damage. I don't know. Here's the thing. Even if this bro slightly outdoes Bradley in damage, in the final rankings, he is not going to be ahead of Bradley. Because I weigh late game content pretty damn heavy. And this bro is nightmare difficulty. That perk rarely ever gonna go off. You know, he's gonna have to attack units that are almost already dead to get that perk to go. So yeah, that's how I'm thinking about that. Like this hit, bro's gonna do 200, 180. 190. I knew it was gonna be shit. Dildo launcher hit's gonna be complete crap as well. Yep. But here's where bro can stack up some damage. Hold on a sec. What's the health on Bryansk? 450. Yeah, he's gonna get another attack. Yep, he's gonna be able to get another attack. But look, the other bros were taking at least one of those down, I think, right? Like this city's health is 800. He's not gonna be able to get an extra hit from that. That city's 1400. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, his days of his perk triggering are over. And this is more what you would get from... I mean, actually, this is more... I mean, really, Nightmare difficulty, it's way more health on cities. He ain't getting any bonus hits from city hits. And his final attack. I will have to decide, though... We're gonna include the damage. It might not even make that big a difference. He didn't even take this unit out. You know what I mean? The health on that's 214. I don't remember the hit he had. I don't know. Let me get some calculations. Maybe I'll calculate it with just this hit. I mean, the double hit on this, and then have another calculation, including these two. I don't know. All right, bros, the results are in. As expected, Bradley was able to win this. 8,166 overall damage compared to Williams' 7,528. Bradley doing 477 more overall damage, averaging 48 more damage per hit. Williams did have the bigger single hit damage. Well, single round damage, I guess, at this point, of 9. Here's the issue. Let me go to the map. How much damage to count? So I don't mind whatsoever giving Williams that extra hit on the units that everybody else has been firing upon. My issue is, what about these units outside of what everybody else has been firing on? Do I give him that damage or not? So here we are. That's what's in the purple. So this was the base hit plus the additional hit on the city. Same damage area that everybody else has had. When we go outside of that, he has 1,377. Now, if you look at the overall damage, Bradley still beats him. However, this affects his ranking among the other generals. So 8,126. That would put him ahead of Weidling. However, if you don't include the attacks that are outside of what everybody else has been attacking, 7,528. 7,528 puts him behind Ninonin, but in front of Yermomenko, and honestly, I think that's a decent spot for him. Bros, I think I'm going to go with this. The 7,528. Look, it's not my fault they put EasyTech put Machinist on Williams and ruined his build. That's not my fault. I would never recommend buying Williams when there's so many other better generals out there that you could buy. So I think that's fair. He got his bonus hit on the city that everybody else has been attacking. He was able to take out the city and the unit. I think that's good. It doesn't change that much anyways, right? All right, the updated tournament rankings based solely on damage. Zhukov still has a monster lead above second place. Bradley, Weidling coming in at third. Ninonin at fourth. Williams pushes out Yermomenko from the top 5. Bros, let's look at the bracket. Updated bracket sees number 2, Bradley defeating number 3, Williams, and moving on. Up next, we have number 2, Voronov versus number 3, Konev. Quick preview of the next matchup. Voronov. Bro, as artillery training master, increased the HP recovery converted from dealt damage of 3% based on the level of artillery elite force. Critical attack damage of the artillery elite force is increased by 25. Hold fast, troop morale will not diminish when there's a friendly unit nearby within 1 grid. Evade 20% damage dealt by the enemy. Bro has crossfire, artillery leader, and accuracy. For Konev, we've got artillery leader, raider, wasted perk, accuracy, inferior victory, inspiration, and he has a title, the Vanguard. When commanding elite force, artillery units attack plus 12, deal a critical attack rate plus 10. Alright, bros, if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the notification bell to make your next upload. Peace.